Sanju and the Canadian truckers. Revolutions, like Bourbons, are measured in proof. Narrated by Skeptical Waves. Published Thursday, February 24, 2022 by Curtis Yarvin. He who makes half a revolution digs his own grave, said Sanju. Well, it was a different time. We have not seen many half revolutions. Revolutions, like Bourbons, are measured in proof, a half revolution being 100 proof, in our days. Which is good, for its maker's grave is not the only grave a half revolution digs. Sanju's rule says that whatever a half revolution means, it means something like a half and half split between an old and new regime. The two will then fight. The new regime, being young and tender, will lose. Being big and strong, though, it can put up quite a fight in this civil war. Ergo its fall is sure to be bloody and vindictive, digging many graves including a very fancy headstone for the revolutionary founder. The proof of a revolution is the peak purity of the monopoly of power it obtains. The lower the peak, the faster it falls. While a 180 proof revolution may be fairly stable, anything under 150 proof is very likely to turn out a disaster, and 100 proof has no end but fire. Once the proof gets down to beer levels, the failure, though no less certain, becomes much less dangerous, a mere golf cart crash. What else is in there? The typical contaminant in a low-proof revolution is, of course, the old regime. The more residual old regime power, the more dangerous. If the new regime, at its peak power, only has 75% of total power, it will struggle to hold that 25% die-hard remnant faction down. At 50% it has no chance. Of course, the gold standard is the 200-proof revolution. The old regime just ceases to exist, becoming one with the Medes and the Minoans. The 200-proof revolution is often associated with catastrophic military conquest, the fall of the Third Reich, the reunification of Germany, or the storming of Constantinople are 200-proof revolutions, so is the path from Versailles to the Committee of Public Safety. Sanju did not end up above the ground. Sanju bit at age 26. As bikers say, he couldn't keep the rubber side down. But Sanju made a real 200-proof revolution. He was not a good guy, Sanju. Still, we rent his scorn for any half-hard coup. Caesar too made the full revolution, and Caesar was a stand-up guy. Napoleon must have learned a lot from Sanju. And we Americans can't forget old Al Hamilton. All these engineers of state were masters, novices must always learn from masters. In any case, it was a different time. Just because you are changing regimes, even all the way as teenagers say, does not mean you need to chop off anyone's head. These things are totally unrelated, and again, the less pure the revolution, the more heads are likely to roll. When in doubt, shoot for 200 proof. If you get it right, the old regime just shuts down, like a company going out of business. The only bloodshed is when someone trips over a banker's box as she's cleaning out her office. Don't worry, that little button cactus will do fine in the living room. It's like permanent work from home, just without the work. And did she really like the work? Sanju's law is that the safety of a revolution is a hill-shaped function of its purity. A very low-proof revolution is safe because it does not do much to anger its enemies. A very high-proof revolution is safe because it will dissolve its enemies. In between, the purer the revolution, the more energy it liberates in fire when it crashes and burns. The extreme endpoint of Sanju's law is the launch equation of a rocket. If the rocket rises 2 inches off the pad, it will crash and burn in a huge fireball. If it gets 99.9% of the way to orbit, it will crash and burn in a huge fireball. An empiricist would be justified in thinking of any prototype rocket as a fireball machine. The rocket is the ultimate engineering symbol of any device that is used once and must work that once. Well, rockets are scary. So the fashion these days is for the 0.1 proof revolution, classified in most states as non-alcoholic. This near beer coup, this kombucha putsch, is safe for a toddler. Trouble is that regulatory limits keep dropping, so foolish civilians keep getting busted for Klausdollar terrorism and roadside cider insurrection. Of course, even if a kombucha revolution is harmless, it is at least a little risky. The question is, what can it accomplish? The answer is clear, absolutely nothing. But this then raises a further question, why do they do it? Why would men make a kombucha revolution? To penetrate this mystery, we descend into the world of the political coomer and his endless and untiring quest for cummies. Politics and politicummies. Men make a kombucha revolution because they are coomers. They are in it for mere stimulation, the cummies. All of right-wing media and most of left-wing media is in this lucrative retail business of political cummies, or, dare we say, politicummies. But I see you don't understand. The coomer, a classic 4chan meme, is the archetypal porn and or sex addict. Much of the eye-redness is also caused by marijuana, a recurrent coomer passion. Cummies, creolizing as it does pornies and baby talk, may be the most disgusting word in our century's new internet lexicon. Unfortunately, it is too apposite to avoid. The coomer, in the abstract sense, is this seeker for stimulation, the connoisseur of automatic pleasure. Scientists say that when we all have ubi, we will all be coomers. The future is a fountain of pure pleasure, of near-infinite robotic hedonic inflation. Even now there is no shortage of every kind of delightful flavored cummies. The analogy between the stimulating powers of sex and politics is close. First, the sex drive and the power drive are intimately related, they are both critical human drives. Second, both sex and power are vulnerable to non-fertile stimulation, the application of a stimulus that produces pleasure but does not have its original functional result. The mark of the coomer is his relentless devotion to non-fertile stimulation. Sexually, the coomer unlinks sexual orgasm from sexual reproduction, and even penetration. Politically, the coomer unlinks political participation from political authority. While the ancient Greeks knew that politics is the highest pursuit of civic man, this applied only to actual politics, the capture and or application of sovereign power. Aristotle would counsel anyone to avoid ineffective yet stimulating political action, politicummies. Anyone participating in coomer politics objectively serves his enemy. Overview of coomer politics. The basic trick in coomer politics is lighting the rocket engine and lifting an inch or two off the pad. The capsule really rumbles and shakes. The passengers, strapped in, are played a video of their orbital vacation. Also, the process is normally quite safe. Although, there are three kinds of players in coomer politics: spectators, producers and actors. The actors actually do things. The producers create content and the spectators consume it. Again, all this is very reminiscent of porn. We distinguish two types of political action in the present day, formal and informal. The traditional politics industry is formal action. The emerging, yet timeless, genre of street porn, like the 2020 Floyd riots, the January 6th demonstrations, or the Ottawa truck protest, is informal action. Formal and informal action have two polarities, pro-government or anti-government. Pro-government action, like the Floyd riots, is out of scope in this essay. Go read, like, the newspaper or something. Most participants in anti-government action do not understand the difference. The result is that they expect formal action to be much more effective than it is, and they expect informal action to be both much more effective and much safer than it is. Of course, any punishment for anything but the most brazen and appalling pro-regime informal action will be a slap on the wrist. As for the rare appalling deeds, punishing them makes great propaganda. Strangely, the principle in which political motivation is a mitigating factor in law enforcement does not seem to apply in the case of anti-regime informal action. The result of the asymmetry is that anti-government street porn is more dangerous than it looks, rather like a porn industry without condoms and STI tests. As in porn, this one is partly on the spectators and partly on the producers. And actors, producers and spectators alike should reflect on what they hope to accomplish here. The Canadian trucker cummies. As I write, the stains have not yet dried from the occupation of Ottawa by Canadian truckers. This rich yet shallow vein of political cummies seems mostly tapped out for now, with lingering flurries of outrage porn as the organizers are rounded up, relieved of savings, family and career, and assigned to transformative justice camp in Nunavut. There they will learn to be happy, productive Lyft drivers in the new, vibrant Canada. So it may be fair to write about the truckers now. I hate to piss on anyone's party, at least not until the pizza boxes have been stacked and the card tables put away. But the objective historical narrative of the event now seems clear: we must not look away. There is a lesson here, I fear, for every kind of conservative. The action. The proof of the truck occupation can be measured by the peak power it achieved. At its peak, it was shutting down the national capital and several border crossings, which is certainly not nothing. 0.1 proof may be too low, let's be generous and call it 0.2. That would be 1/1000th of the way to ruling Canada. Generous? Okay, it's generous. One way to get an intuitive sense of very low-powered revolutions is to take the event itself and imagine increasing the proof. What could change? Clearly, the truck occupation never considered a bid for absolute power. What would that have meant? Justin Trudeau would step down and hand power to Tamara Lich? Look who's loving Nunavut now. It's actually super nice in the summers, since the far-right one, of course, these are not transformative justice camps, but boot camps. CrossFit. Trudeau may not need it. A lot of his friends do. He'll see them all there. The prospect is ridiculous. But history demonstrates that it is not ridiculous because it has to be ridiculous. It is only ridiculous because no one has made it unridiculous. Of course, the actual goal of the trucker action was an issue vaccine/mask mandates. An issue is the weakest kind of goal, because it does not aim at taking power, only at using it, by somehow convincing and or coercing power to change its mind. Suppose we confine the action to the same area, but we redesign it to take power? We would imagine creating some kind of civic tribunal, not unlike the plebeian tribunes of ancient Rome, rigged to be controlled by the populist majority rather than sneering overeducated doctors and scientists, which could act as a civil jury that could veto these kinds of intrusive, but sometimes, with a really dangerous virus, still necessary, violations of the principles of a free society. Again, the idea is ridiculous. Maybe not only because no one has made it unridiculous. When we talk about the people governing, rather than a government in the interest of the people, when we talk about true democracy, what else would we be talking about? Is this actually the right way to govern Canada? Can the principle of the populist civil jury, with veto power over the acts of the progressive bureaucracy, get anywhere? No, probably, but one could at least imagine it as a start. In theory, given an abstract human population. But not in practice, given the actual Canadian population, unless my impression that they are no different up there is wrong. For prospective actors, the trucker protest has two lessons. The first lesson is that any amount of informal anti-government action, regardless of its traditional practice or even apparent legality, and entirely regardless of the safety of pro-government action, is extremely unsafe and effectively illegal. If, after the action, the old regime is still around to prosecute or persecute you, it certainly will. This is the normal condition of human affairs, so try not to cry a new Mississippi about it. The second lesson is that ultimately every action against a government is military, and every military action can be measured by a simple yardstick. The action succeeds not if it achieves its nominal mission, but if it alters the balance of power in its own favor. A step that makes you stronger and your enemies weaker is a victory. A step that makes you weaker and your enemies stronger is a defeat. Not only is it easy to see that the trucker movement was smashed and the Canadian regime gained new, tasty emergency superpowers, as well as experience dealing with this surprising new tactic, there is an excellent yardstick for any informal action. The simple question is, did this action make it easier, or harder, to repeat the same action? If you cannot do the same thing you did last time, you must be weaker than last time. Maybe you gained somewhere else, maybe not. Not having been born yesterday, Canadian security officials or whoever can see that, if blocking the streets of Ottawa with trucks is an effective way for these peasants to get what they want, they will get a lot of trucker roadblocks, like farmer protests or union strikes in France in the 70s. Therefore it becomes especially important not only to smash this action, but to make it clear that any such future action will fail, that the action will not be repeated. Thus in one clear way the balance of power has changed in the regime's favor. Before the trucker protest, truckers could do something like the trucker protest. Now they can't. They would just lose, so they will never even try. That's how power works. Everyone hates to lose, so losers always cling to the Saxon waking theory of politics, a great idea out of Kipling. They were not easily moved, they were icy, willing to wait till every count should be proved, ere the Saxon began to hate. Well, the Canadians must have some Saxon blood. Right? They are certainly icy. And who can question their willingness to wait? But now the count is proved, the Saxon awakes, the corrupt, tyrannical Trudeau regime will be swept away. The new blood is rising in the strong, independent, liberty-loving peoples of the North. In 2014 as this sort of spirit rose in the feeble, nervous, weed-loving peoples of 4chan, some wag invented an unanswerable response. He was waiting for the Saxon to awake. Of course, the actual reason that the Canadian Royal Militia or whoever is not mustering up to march on Ottawa and restore liberty is not that the Canadian people are icy and judicious, more like, pudgy and apathetic. Regardless of their Saxon heritage, or whatever. And if any of them do wake up, and learn to hate, well, that's literally a crime in Canada. Enjoy your time in Nunavut. Actually, in the modern world, the rebound effect of oppression is negative. The effect of a crackdown is Stockholm Syndrome, not Saxon hate. The more power the state uses, the more popular it gets. As Osama bin Laden said, people like a strong horse. The audience. There is not much to say about the audience for political porn. Their fetishes may be detailed, but they all share the same lust. They want to see winning. They want hope. Their cummies are little spurts of delicious, evanescent hope. They have no actual hope of actual power. If they did, they would instantly change the channel on all these non-alcoholic revolutions, formal and informal alike. Mere self-abuse can rarely compete with actual penetration. Can the audience learn to stop beating it to outrage porn? Some of them, maybe. But the right way to cure their debauched coomer ways is to give them actual hope. Porn is for the celibate, it can rarely compete with actual sex. The production. It is the actors who have been the victims of this show, and the producers who have profited from it. The actors should have known what they were doing, but they didn't. But they were ordinary fools, so no one could expect them to. The producers had the responsibility to know what they were doing. If they didn't, they should have. The persecution of their followers is on these Pied Pipers, shame. Respect the porn stash. Here is a timeline subset from one major producer of trucker politicummies. This producer, an attorney, actually went to the trucker protest to make video reports. He has almost 200,000 Twitter followers. Behold this chronological stream of timely ejaculations, each delicious in its own way. Viva Friat the Viva Fray. This is how you know a movement has acquired its own exponential momentum. Elon Musk at Elon Musk. Canadian truckers rule. January 27, 2022. 505 retweets, 3,495 likes. January 27, 2022. Viva Friat the Viva Fray. The hashtag Freedom Convoy 2022 has picked up exponential momentum, nationally and internationally. At Elon Musk tweeting about it, at Russ Rockets talking about it, Zuby Music on it. The only people ignoring it are at Justin Trudeau funded at CBC. The Emperor has no clothes, and the entire world sees it. January 28, 2022. 1,265 retweets, 4,985 likes. January 28, 2022. Viva Friat the Viva Fray. Parliament Hill belongs to the hashtag Freedom Convoy 2022. And the lying coward at Justin Trudeau knows it, which is why he surrendered his office to the people. February 1, 2022. 281 retweets, 1,626 likes. February 1, 2022. Viva Friat the Viva Fray. I think he already has been overthrown, he just doesn't know it yet. He still thinks everyday freedom-loving Canadians are the fringe minority with unacceptable views. This feels like an unstoppable peaceful revolution, which is the most powerful and long-lasting kind. Eli Klein at the Eli Klein. Is Justin Trudeau getting overthrown? February 1, 2022. 580 retweets, 2,716 likes. February 1, 2022. Viva Friat the Viva Fray. There is no greater shame to any mortal than not being able to walk among your law-abiding people at Justin Trudeau. February 2, 2022. 208 retweets, 1,414 likes. February 2, 2022. Viva Friat the Viva Fray. I will be back in Ottawa tomorrow to show why Justin Trudeau is not only a pathetic coward, but an absolute shameless liar. This is your legacy, Justin. The most vile, loathsome politician to have ever cursed our country's history. Enjoy your exile. The people own the Parliament. Justin Trudeau at Justin Trudeau. Today in the House, members of Parliament unanimously condemned the anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, anti-black racism, homophobia, and transphobia that we've seen on display in Ottawa over the past number of days. Together, let's keep working to make Canada more inclusive. February 2, 2022. 543 retweets, 2,100 likes. February 2, 2022. 5 times August at 5 times August at Justin Trudeau. Imagine letting the entire world watch you dig your own grave. February 2, 2022. 663 retweets, 16,755 likes. February 2, 2022. Viva Friat the Viva Fray. Anyone calling the hashtag Freedom Convoy 2022 intolerant, racist, anti-Semitic, transphobic, xenophobic, etc. is an idiot, pure and simple. February 4, 2022. 1,172 retweets, 5,651 likes. February 4, 2022. Viva Friat the Viva Fray. The same truckers that feed Canada, freed Canada. February 4, 2022. 1,249 retweets, 8,451 likes. February 4, 2022. Jack Posobiec, USA, at Jack Posobiec. Amazing watching at the Viva Fray level up in real time. He is fighting for his nation, Canada. February 4, 2022. 448 retweets, 2,927 likes. February 4, 2022. Viva Friat the Viva Fray. Justin Trudeau is the villain of our century. February 6, 2022. 1,045 retweets, 8,919 likes. February 6, 2022. Mark J. Randazza at Mark Randazza. I did not give money to the trucker convoy until it GoFund played games. Now, I gave on at GiveSendGo including the largest suggested tip for the site. GiveSendGo.com/freedomconvoy2. February 6, 2022 65 retweets 339 likes. February 6, 2022. Viva Friat the Viva Fray. The obvious question for Justin Trudeau: are you willing to starve or freeze a trucker to death to save your ego? Because the world is watching. February 7, 2022 4,714 retweets 17,240 likes. February 7, 2022. Viva Friat the Viva Fray. The next phase in it: Justin Trudeau realizing he has lost all influence and he's no longer an authority figure in this country? The police stopped listening to his orders. Justice Center at Canada today in Ottawa at the Freedom Convoy. https://t.co/oxcops0nf February 8, 2022 193 retweets 981 likes. February 8, 2022. Viva Friat the Viva Fray. To the Ottawa Police, York Police, Ontario Provincial Police, and RCMP, it is okay not to listen to Justin Trudeau. He is an intolerant fascist, and you are all better than that. At Ottawa Police, at OPP, at YRP, at RCPONT. The next phase in this depends on you. February 8, 2022 1,236 retweets 4,852 likes. February 8, 2022. Viva Friat the Viva Fray. Just appreciate that what has united Canadians behind the Canadian flag was a collective hatred for Justin Trudeau. What a legacy, Justin. February 8, 2022 1,702 retweets 10,048 likes. February 8, 2022. Viva Friat the Viva Fray. The worst Prime Minister in the history of Canada is in full meltdown mode. At Justin Trudeau better get ready to go into hiding. I have a suggestion for your disguise. But I think you know what that is already. Justin Trudeau. At Justin Trudeau. So far, hundreds of RCMP officers have been mobilized to support the Ottawa Police Services. We're also working with municipal partners to further strengthen our response, and will continue to be there with whatever resources are needed to get the situation under control. February 8, 2022 214 retweets 1,161 likes. February 8, 2022. Viva Friat the Viva Fray. If anyone thinks that I would rather be doing this than fishing, you're wrong. I love fishing. But the pursuit of freedom for our country and for our people is slightly more important. February 9, 2022 202 retweets 2,062 likes. February 9, 2022. Viva Friat the Viva Fray. That's the expression. I love it. Jack Posobiec, USA, at Jack Posobiec. Amateurs talk strategy, professionals talk logistics. The state has no way to move all those trucks. February 9, 2022 181 retweets 1,352 likes. February 9, 2022. Viva Friat the Viva Fray. These idiot politicians in Ottawa thought a bunch of big rigs sitting on Parliament Hill was a disruption. Well played. The hashtag Freedom Convoy 2022 called your bluff. Now they are sitting on Ambassador Bridge. This is the undoing of Justin Trudeau, in real time. Get your popcorn. February 10, 2022 2,215 retweets 10,516 likes. February 10, 2022. Viva Friat the Viva Fray. Canada is still a democracy. Except the government tells you what goes over your face. What goes in your body. When you can work. Who you can see. When you can leave the house. When you can protest. Who you can donate to. Yep. With democracy like that, who needs tyranny? February 11, 2022 11,782 retweets 40,829 likes. February 11, 2022. Viva Friat the Viva Fray. Imagine thinking the best way to end a grassroots movement is to freeze the $10.5 million raised through grassroots donations. Of course, these are the same idiots who think a vax passport for a vax which prevents neither carrying nor spreading is the best way to fight the virus. February 11, 2022 1,057 retweets 4,543 likes. February 11, 2022. Cernovich at Cernovich. I can't stop laughing at the blue check libs saying just move the trucks. Like it's that easy. Push a couple of buttons. Make a phone call. Boom. Truck's gone. February 11, 2022 952 retweets 10,871 likes. February 11, 2022. Viva Friat the Viva Fray. It is nothing short of criminalizing the Constitution. Jack Posobiec, USA, at Jack Posobiec. If the Canadian government succeeds in stealing the peaceful demonstrators' funds, it is the end of democracy. The transformation to regime will be complete. February 11, 2022 165 retweets 887 likes. February 11, 2022. Give Send Go at Give Send Go know this. Canada has absolutely zero jurisdiction over how we manage our funds here at Give Send Go. All funds for every campaign on Give Send Go flow directly to the recipients of those campaigns, not least of which is the Freedom Convoy campaign. February 11, 2022 24,876 retweets 83,431 likes. February 11, 2022. Viva Friat Viva Fray. This just in, a highly politicized and weaponized Canadian court has issued an injunction against exercising constitutional rights. Hashtag sarcasm. February 12, 2022 266 retweets 1,726 likes. February 12, 2022. Viva Friat Viva Fray. The political left is intolerant. It actually upsets me to make this tweet. But the truth of this tweet has been reaffirmed to me, both privately and publicly. The political left is fundamentally intolerant. February 12, 2022 1035 retweets 5,330 likes. February 12, 2022. Viva Friat Viva Fray. After 2 years of destroying our economy and eviscerating our constitutional rights, Justin Trudeau all of a sudden pretends to care about the economy. And the mandates. And the constitutional violations. Resign. For the good of Canada. Justin Trudeau at Justin Trudeau today. At POTUS. Biden and I spoke about the illegal blockades at the border. I updated him on the situation, and we discussed the American and global influence on the protests. We agreed that, for the security of people and our economies, these blockades cannot continue. February 12, 2022 843 retweets 3,937 likes. February 12, 2022. Viva Friat Viva Fray. If Ottawa is the symbolic epicenter of the hashtag Freedom Convoy 2022, Windsor and the Ambassador Bridge is the economic epicenter. This is what's going on there. Isabelle Rivoche at Isabella Rivo live from Ambassador Bridge. Police descent upon blockade. https://t.co/zrxn9zpdeb. February 12, 2022 79 retweets 407 likes. February 12, 2022. Viva Friat Viva Fray. You've kind of got a crisis at home to manage. Ignoring it is not going to make it go away. And demonizing the people is only going to make it bigger. At Justin Trudeau at Justin Trudeau Canada, the United States, and countries across Europe are committed to supporting Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity. I spoke about that today with at POTUS and European leaders. We'll keep pursuing de-escalation and a diplomatic solution. https://t.co/sla761op https://t.co/eskp7ggqt4 February 12, 2022 200 retweets 1,113 likes. February 12, 2022. Viva Friat Viva Fray. I will always remember freedom. February 13, 2022 397 retweets 4,338 likes. February 13, 2022. Viva Friat Viva Fray. Vaccine passports are the new Jim Crow laws. And anyone who says otherwise is a racist. February 13, 2022 1,166 retweets 6,261 likes. February 13, 2022. Viva Friat Viva Fray. This dude is still too proud or dense to understand that he's politically toxic, incompetent, and his days in office are numbered. At Justin Trudeau, if you don't resign with dignity, your own party is going to oust you with prejudice. You have no political goodwill left. Justin Trudeau at Justin Trudeau today, I convened another incident response group meeting. We covered further actions the government can take to help end the blockades and occupations. We'll keep working urgently on this, to protect jobs, public safety, our neighborhoods, and our economy. February 14, 2022 584 retweets 2,627 likes. February 14, 2022. Viva Friat Viva Fray. No need to dox me. I gave $1,000 to it Give Send Go before the restraint order. And if a corrupt government tries to impede my ability to support the people I choose to support and who make sure my family has food to eat, I will find another way to support them. Victory hand. Phantom at Red Alert 989 at Viva Fray. At Justin Trudeau. They doxed at Give Send Go World. https://t.co/jesk6e. February 14, 2022 230 retweets 1,445 likes. February 14, 2022. Viva Friat Viva Fray. It is really starting to look like it. Justin Trudeau will not become the dictator who so aspires to be until he provokes a Tiananmen Square type incident. Travis Donraj at Travis Tanraj #breaking, at PC News has learned PM Justin Trudeau will inform provinces he will invoke Emergencies Act to give the Fed government extra powers to deal with protests across country. But in a meeting with Liberal caucus he said there were no plans to deploy the military. #SeatingPoli February 14, 2022 411 retweets 1,672 likes. February 14, 2022. Viva Friat Viva Fray don't worry, at Justin Trudeau isn't calling in the military. He is just authorizing banks to unilaterally freeze your accounts on the basis of suspicion alone, no court order required, with legal immunity. I hope everyone realizes how much more dangerous this is than the military. February 14, 2022 18,016 retweets 52,638 likes. February 14, 2022. Viva Friat Viva Fray if you support doxing anonymous donors, you might be the Nazi. February 15, 2022 1,310 retweets 7,694 likes. February 15, 2022. Viva Friat Viva Fray Justin Trudeau thinks that he will crush the truckers by threatening to steal even more from people with nothing left to lose? He's even stupider than he looks and sounds. At Justin Trudeau February 15, 2022 1,979 retweets 9,679 likes. February 15, 2022. Viva Friat Viva Fray anybody who sleeps well tonight telling themselves oh don't worry, the government would only seize and freeze the bank accounts of those white nationalist truckers is a naive moron who doesn't deserve to sleep well, but probably will. At least until the government comes for them. February 15, 2022 2,240 retweets 9,079 likes. February 15, 2022. Viva Friat Viva Fray this is an underrated tweet Maxime Bernier at Maxime Bernier it started with rainbows and unicorns. It ends with a fascist crackdown. February 15, 2022 351 retweets 1,976 likes. February 15, 2022. Viva Friat Viva Fray no, at Justin Trudeau used his state-funded media to dishonestly portray a peaceful protest as a violent insurrection so that he could enact the Emergencies Act, seize bank accounts and private property with impunity. History doesn't repeat, but it tends to rhyme. Mark Twain mass herder at Biscuits Buttery at Viva Fray Justin Trudeau planned a violent insurrection so he could hold power like a dictator or you're doing the hyperbolic thing again. February 15, 2022 300 retweets 1,239 likes. February 15, 2022. Viva Friat Viva Fray wow. Some serious upheaval within the government. At Justin Trudeau may actually have gone too far this time, even by the standards of the other equally inept politicians in Parliament. At Newsmint at Viva Fray Trudeau on the spot again https://t.co/arpxpa/RHS February 15, 2022 311 retweets 1,507 likes. February 15, 2022. Viva Friat Viva Fray while the provinces, states, and countries across the world are rescinding COVID restrictions, at Justin Trudeau invoked the Emergencies Act, while simultaneously saying he will revisit COVID restrictions in the coming days. The last temper tantrum of a petty tyrant losing his power. February 16, 2022 1,612 retweets 7,959 likes. February 16, 2022. Viva Friat Viva Fray Justin Trudeau is the true threat to democracy. February 16, 2022 1,569 retweets 9,173 likes. February 16, 2022. Viva Friat Viva Fray Justin Trudeau dressed in blackface multiple times. Groped a reporter. Breached his ethics duties twice. Was investigated multiple times. Prorogued Parliament to stifle the investigation. But yeah, if you protest him, you're a racist, misogynist, extremist. #ForgetTrudeau February 17, 2022 1,563 retweets 5,456 likes. February 17, 2022. Viva Friat Viva Fray hey at Justin Trudeau, when you have lesbians, gays, Jews, and blacks, among other groups, standing in support of the #Freedom Convoy 2022, maybe. Just maybe. It is in fact not a homophobic, transphobic, anti-black racist, anti-Semitic convoy. Just a thought. #Trudeau must resign February 17, 2022 1,805 retweets 6,726 likes. February 17, 2022. Viva Friat Viva Fray the at Justin Trudeau government is using contact info from a donor list that was illegally hacked and leaked, to freeze bank accounts and seize private property, with no court order or due process. But don't worry, he said he would respect the Charter of Rights. Hashtag Trudeau the criminal February 17, 2022 4,263 retweets 11,084 likes. February 17, 2022. Viva Friat the Viva Fray on what charges? Joe Warmington at Joe_Warmington breaking. Hashtag Freedom Convoy organizer Tamara Litch has been arrested by at Ottawa Police https://t.co/ck9 Cottopar February 18, 2022 2,276 retweets 11,934 likes. February 18, 2022. Viva Friat the Viva Fray something tells me that for every protester arrested, hundreds of fresh Canadians will descend on Ottawa this weekend. Andrew Lawton at Andrew Lawton Litch shouts out hold the line as she's walked away in handcuffs. https://t.co/rmauyzpsg3 February 18, 2022 1,254 retweets 5,553 likes. February 18, 2022. Viva Friat the Viva Fray Trudeau has to make as many arrests as he can before the vote on the Emergencies Act. Because if declaration gets denied, at least he'll have gotten a few arrests under his dictatorship belt. But if it gets denied, Justin Trudeau is politically finished. February 18, 2022 2,241 retweets 8,965 likes. February 18, 2022. Viva Friat the Viva Fray how long until they start freezing bank accounts based on who you are friends with on social media? I mean, if you are friends with someone who donated to Give Send Go, surely that makes you morally culpable under the Emergencies Act. Right, at Justin Trudeau at Caffreyland February 18, 2022 1,516 retweets 6,680 likes. February 18, 2022. Viva Friat the Viva Fray Justin Trudeau needed the hashtag Freedom Convoy 2022 to be his January 6 so badly, he erected fences, brought in riot police, tear gas, and literal cavalry, to try and provoke the desired response. And it still didn't work. At Justin Trudeau you are a disgrace and a menace to free society. February 18, 2022 4,930 retweets 15,429 likes. February 18, 2022. Viva Friat the Viva Fray either way, it's terrible. If she survived, at Justin Trudeau got lucky from such unnecessary escalation. If she did in fact die, Trudeau needs to be held accountable for such egregious escalation. Strutting horses through a crowded protest in icy, sub-zero temperatures? Criminal. Danny Deck at Danny Deck 68 at the Viva Fray at Justin Trudeau why not wait till we know? February 19, 2022 483 retweets 1,925 likes. February 19, 2022. Viva Friat the Viva Fray there are literally dozens of people live streaming the protest in Ottawa in real time, for millions of people to see. How does anyone think they will get away with lies? February 19, 2022 5,338 retweets 22,421 likes. February 19, 2022. Viva Friat the Viva Fray if the police response to the protest in Ottawa is not the undoing of a Justin Trudeau, it is the undoing of Canada. February 19, 2022 5,446 retweets 23,580 likes. February 19, 2022. Viva Friat the Viva Fray we will do all we can to reveal the brutality. Drew Hernandez at DRLive the Trudeau regime is going to do all it can to cover up its brutality February 19, 2022 705 retweets 3,198 likes. February 19, 2022. Viva Friat the Viva Fray and Justin Trudeau Canada, government tells you when you can protest, where you can protest, how long you can protest for, and when you have to stop protesting. They then look to press criminal charges against you, and seize your assets for protesting. Hashtag O Canada February 19, 2022 4,640 retweets 16,083 likes. February 19, 2022. Viva Friat the Viva Fray Justin Trudeau has deployed more resources in terms of dictatorship police response and more public debates to deal with the protest, than actually discoursing with the protesters. He is a failure and a disgrace and should be removed from office yesterday. February 20, 2022 2,334 retweets 10,374 likes. February 20, 2022. Viva Friat the Viva Fray I hope the people of Ottawa appreciate that the downtown core was never shut down by violent protesters. Any business that stayed open would have done amazingly well. But downtown Ottawa is now definitely shut down by the government. Those fences aren't going anywhere for a while. February 20, 2022, 3,213 retweets, 12,331 likes. February 20, 2022. Viva Free, the government is playing for keeps. And they're playing for our freedom. February 20, 2022, 2,141 retweets, 11,075 likes. February 20, 2022. Viva Free, apparently police are now going after business owners that remained open during the protest. But don't worry, Justin Trudeau said he would respect the Charter of Rights while invoking the Emergencies Act. The destruction of the fabric of Canadian society, right before our eyes. Daniel Boardman at Randing 4 Canada. The police tried to get into the iconic cafe, a small business that committed the crime of serving coffee to the truckers, to arrest the owners. They were scared off by a Citizen Live streamer. For now I'm on the scene and will there when the police come back. Hashtag Trudeau has got to go. February 20, 2022, 2,697 retweets, 6,424 likes. February 20, 2022. Viva Free, criminalize peaceful protest. Criminalize fundraising. Criminalize freedom of speech. Criminalize freedom of association. Ignore due process. What Justin Trudeau at Ford Nation and Ottawa police are doing to peace-loving Canadians is pure state terrorism. Hashtag Trudeau stain. Hashtag shame on Trudeau. https://t.co/thesfeet68 Ottawa Police. At Ottawa Police, if you are involved in this protest, we will actively look to identify you and follow up with financial sanctions and criminal charges. Hashtag Ottawa. Hashtag OttNews. https://t.co/x6q9 Bifi. February 20, 2022, 1,532 retweets, 3,642 likes. February 20, 2022. Viva Free, how is it conceivable that release is not being granted as a pure rubber stamp matter of fact and law? As far as I understand it, people have only been charged with mischief. How can they possibly warrant continued detainment? At David Amber, criminal lawyer, Canada. At David Amber, I am in bail court this morning. 9 files are here among arrests from yesterday and 11 more on their way today. At least one of my clients, the Crown, is not consenting to release. I've set a bail hearing for him for later this week. February 20, 2022, 251 retweets, 820 likes. February 20, 2022. Viva Free, you are watching live images of police committing atrocious abuse. Fix that for the reporters. This is Justin Trudeau's Canada. At Justin Trudeau Itcoin Gandalf the Orange at to Gandalf. Let's make sure millions of people see this. https://t.co/oak5cpm. February 20, 2022, 1,067 retweets, 2,415 likes. February 20, 2022. Viva Free, I sure hope there are enough parliamentary employees to keep those small businesses open for the next several weeks, months of this unlawful police blockade. But you'll just blame the protesters for the interruption that the police are causing, right? At Ottawa Police. At Ottawa Police, please be advised that no pedestrian traffic is permitted north of Sparks Street between Elgin and Bay unless you're a parliamentary employee. February 20, 2022, 472 retweets, 1,833 likes. February 20, 2022. Deconstructing the trucker cummies. What is amazing about this producer, selected quite at random, is that he seems to both have a perfect understanding of what will happen, and no understanding at all. Not only does he have no clue, but he gets it completely. What makes all the rhetoric in this remarkable month-long arc stimulating? Why does this mustache libertarianism work so well, even as it goes from the most blustering of boasts to the most pathetic of whines? It is easy to see why the boasts stimulate the proud ape in us. The whines stimulate them too, because of a piece of political mythology that transmutes the two. You see, out there, somewhere, the Saxon is waiting, proving his counts, or whatever. Anytime the Trudeau dictatorship regime does some awful, dictator-like thing, it looks like it makes the regime stronger. But it actually makes the regime weaker, because of the silent, invisible Saxo Canadian, out there weighing up the evidence, ready to come to Ottawa in the hundreds once that count is finally proved. True, that dictator Trudeau actually can move a few trucks. And stuff. But it's not true that he's winning, because of all the legitimacy his regime has lost to these crimes. Etc., etc., etc. This whole narrative can only exist in a world of quantum superposition, in which the despot Trudeau both is and is not a dictator. In a dictatorship, resistance is obviously useless. Imagine a trucker protest against Kim Jong-un. In a democracy, however, not only is protest legal, protest works, protest is the only way to get things done. This is why we see so many of these conservative coomer milkers constantly declaring that today is the day that democracy has fallen. It is the only narrative note that works in the middle of their arc. But these days have been happening for decades in this genre. Somehow, that day is forgotten by the middle of next week, and the producers keep on selling democracy as the cure for dictatorship. Which is a little like selling paper as the cure for scissors. Trudeau, of course, is not a dictator. He is a talking head on TV, an actor. His regime is not a personal autocracy, it is an institutional oligarchy. In fact, autocracy is the only cure for oligarchy. So not only has this kind of narrative led the actors in the story into personal disaster, and the coomers in the story into unexpected detumescence, it has politically confused the poor peasant coomer into a state of complete ineffectiveness. But he did get plenty of cummies, I guess. In fact, this narrative could not be a more powerful weapon on behalf of the regime than if it had been designed by the cruel Justin Trudeau, son of Fidel Castro, I insist. In the end, the coomer is always an incel. Sad.